Isang magandang Sabado po ng umaga sa ating lahat at ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa ating Panginoon at nagising po tayo muli sa isang umagang puno ng pag-asa. At dalangin ko na sa umagang ito ay tayo pong lahat ay nasa malusog na pangangatawan at pag-iisip. Welcome po sa 11:43 DZMR para po sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Muli ako po si Dr. Jennifer Gatiwan C., your program host, at samahan niyo po ako sa loob ng kalahating oras at pag-usapan natin ang isang napapanahong usapin. At syempre, itong buwan po ng Mayo ay lagi po itong nai-relate sa mga kababaihan, flowers. So, we will be talking on Safe Motherhood Week. Dahil po tuwing dalawang linggo po ng Mayo, ng buwan ng Mayo, taon-taon, dito po sa ating bansa, inoobserbahan po natin or we remember our mothers. So our topic will be Safe Motherhood Week in order to promote maternal health and nutrition. So programa po to ng ating Department of Health na nagfo-focus po sa kalusugan at kapakanan ng ating mga kababaihan, primarily sa kanilang pagbubuntis. Kasama na rin po dito yung tinatawag nating teenage pregnancy or the adolescent pregnant women in meeting their unmet needs for family planning. Andito na po yung contraceptives. Ang ating priority agenda by the year 2030 is talagang planado ang pagiging isang ina o ang pagpapamilya. Ang programang ito po is, it aims to provide Filipino women access to quality healthcare for a safer pregnancy and delivery. So yung meron pong mag-aalaga sa kanila. And it aims to promote the health and well-being of Filipino mothers and of course their family. Ito po ay meron tayong tinatawag na ambisyon natin 2040, the National Safe Motherhood Program envisions a healthy Filipino family where the mother is healthy as the other members of her family. Dahil nga po, di ba, kalusugan ni mami, nakasalalay po yung kalusugan din ni baby. At ang mission po ng ating gobyerno is to have full access to health services towards making their pregnancy and childbirth safer. Magkaroon po ng accessibility dahil po, eto, i-discuss po natin bakit hindi po ba lahat ay may access? Eto po, dito po sa ating bansa daw, ang rate ng mga babies na ipinapanganak sa health facility ay kumbaga nag-improve naman na over the years. Dahil ideally, ang mga kababaihan daw ay dapat nanganganak na sa health facility, hindi na sa bahay-bahay lang. Pero kung bahay, dapat meron kang tinatawag na expert o mga midwife, okay, in order to make sure that both the mother and the baby are properly cared for by trained health workers before, during, and after birth. So, sa pagbubuntis pa lang ay binabantayan na sila. Okay, dito daw po sa ating bansa, madaming dahilan kung bakit hindi nanganganak sa health facility ang isang kababaihan. Meron daw pong tatlong top 3 barriers kung bakit hindi nagkakaroon, hindi nila na-access etong delivery services. Number 1, kakulangan sa pera. So, economy pa din. So, sabi nila, mahal mga anak sa midwife, mahal mga anak sa hospital. So, magtatawag na lang yan ng hilot. Ayan. At sa bahay na lang mga anak. So, dahil hindi expert yung nagpaanak, of course, hindi quality healthcare. Pangalawa, difficulty in taking public transport. Ayun. So, kumisan, meron ngang mga health facility, pero para mapuntahan ay, especially for those in the far-flung barrios, ay sinasabi nilang hindi kami agad nakakapunta. So, dito po yung role ng ating mga RHU or Rural Health Unit na meron talaga tayong mga midwife na sila po yung first person na pupuntahan ng mga buntis. Number three, personal reason, not wanting to give birth alone dahil sabi nila pag dun daw sa hospital, sa delivery room, or sa line-in ay mag-isa kang nagle-labor, dito sa ating bansa, it's somehow a community practice, lalo na kung yung sa bahay nanganganak, buong barangay ay nandun. But technically, you can be with your spouse, with your partner, if you want to request, as long as na-orient din sila dun sa dapat nilang gawin. So, ito daw yung top three. Economy-wise, kulang sa accessibility dahil medyo malayo, and medyo subjective yung pangatlo. Ayaw lang niya talaga dahil ayaw niyang mag-isang mag-labor. So this is one of the many reasons that in our country, dito sa Pilipinas, ang World Health Organization, which is our source for today's information, is working hand in hand with the Department of Health to make universal health care a reality, katotohanan na, and they are partnering with the Department of Health and the LGUs to train skilled birth attendants. Kasama na po yung mga hilot dito and the midwife doon sa tinatawag nating Essential Intrapartum and Newborn Care or EINC. Sa ating bansa po, tinawag na lang po natin itong unang yakap or in English, first embrace. Ito po ay yung tinatawag nating step-by-step, okay, practices na ginagawa pagkalabas ni baby along with exclusive breastfeeding, okay, for at least the first 6 months of life. Dahil ito daw pong unang yakap, this is the healthy start for babies that will dramatically improve their survival and lessen infections and the health and increase the health of the newborn, improve the health of the newborn babies. Okay? So yun po yung unang yakap. Another essential element for healthy mommies is their ability to take care of themselves. So kailangan, alam mo ding pangalagaan ang iyong sarili, lalo na before and after delivery. Kasi kadalasan po, no, once na lumabas na yung baby, yung tinatawag nating postpartum care, yung sarili mo, nane-neglect na. Okay? So, kadalasan, niisip doon ng mga mami, pagkapanganak, safe na sila sa tinatawag nating mga complications. Pero actually, no, immediately, pagkatapos daw mga anak, yun po tinatawag nating postpartum period, dito po napakataas yung tinatawag nating pagdurugo, no? At iba pang mga komplikasyon na pwedeng maging life-threatening. So again, ang World Health Organization, they're working with the Department of Health to ensure that mothers and babies have the best possible care after birth and that mothers go for regular checkups with their babies. So ngayong Safe Motherhood Week, no, you will be reminded, so sa linggong to, especially tomorrow, Mother's Day, that not only for families to look after their babies. Kadalasan, pagkapanganak ni baby, lahat ang focus kay baby na. No, this is also a reminder to look after the mommies, no, ang kanilang kalagayan. Kumustahin din ang kanilang kalagayan dahil silang dalawa po ang ating pasyente. So, unahin po natin yung unang yakap. Ano po ba itong unang yakap? Okay, so there are four things that we must know about unang yakap or the first embrace. Nung pong taong 2009, ito po ay na-implement na dito sa ating bansa. So for those babies born in birthing facilities from 2009 up to the present, are babies who got to experience yung unang yakap na programa ng ating gobyerno based on the World Health Organization's Essential Intrapartum and Newborn Care. Ito po ay evidence-based program, ibig sabihin ay pinaktis po to sa ibang bansa at nakitang maganda itong programang ito. It is safe and will provide adequate quality care for newborns and their babies. Ito po ay series of time-bound and evidence-based interventions for newborn babies. So, step by step ko ano ang gagawin. Okay? To ensure, para masigurado daw na nasa magandang kalagayan sila. At ang gagawa nitong step-by-step process are the skilled health professionals. Sila yung magpa-perform once the baby is delivered. So, ano daw tong step-by-step interventions ng unang yakap? Step 1, immediate and thorough drying of the baby. Ayan, di-discuss po natin one by one later. Step 2, early skin-to-skin contact between the mother and the newborn baby. Step 3, properly timed cord clamping. And number 4, non-separation of the mother and the baby for early breastfeeding initiation. So, unahin po natin yung step 1, immediate and thorough drying. So, paglabas ni baby, pupunasan, of course. Kasi syempre, andun siya, lulutang-lutang siya dun sa bag of water ni mommy, di ba? So, the newborn is immediately dried with a clean piece of cloth to prevent hypothermia para hindi siya lamigin or a very low body temperature. Yun yun. So, very important po to sa kanilang survival. Dahil pag gininaw yan, pwedeng bumaba ang kanilang heartbeat. So, yun yun. Number 2, early skin-to-skin contact. So, yung pong bagong panganak, dadalhin po siya immediately sa dibdib ni mommy. Okay? Abdomen or chest. No? So, para mabigyan siya ng time to crawl up to the mother's breast, kahit daw po na ang kanilang umbilical cord, yung pinagdugtungan nila ay naka-attach pa. So, yun yung number 2, no? So, punasan ng midwife right after pagkalabas. Tapos, immediately, ilagay niya yan sa dibdib or sa tiyan ni mommy para magkaroon sila ng skin-to-skin contact. So, the skin-to-skin contact helps the newborn to warm himself or herself also, di ba? And prevents very low blood sugar and bacterial infection. Dahil daw po, meron tayong tinatawag na healthy skin bacteria from mommy na pwede niyang mailipat sa kanyang newborn baby's skin. This will serve as their skin's first line of defense against infection. So si mami na mga anak dapat ay malinis din siya during her delivery kasi ididikit siya right away, no? Aside from that, it also improves breastfeeding initiation. So kasi ipapagapang si baby or iaalalayan siya na ilapit dun sa breast ni mommy. So yun yung early skin-to-skin contact. At number 3, dito pa lang po papasok yung tinatawag nating properly timed cord clamping and cutting. So time, ibig sabihin, ay hindi paglabas, hindi yung dati yung old practice is minimilk yung cord. Ibig sabihin yung parang pinipiga papunta kay baby. Pero ngayon, hindi na daw. The umbilical cord is only clamp and cut pag natapos na yung parang pulso. Kasi parang pumipintig-pintig yun eh. Pero once na lumabas, hihina yun, mararamdaman yun ng midwife or ng kanyang OBGYN. Pag wala na daw yung pulso na yun, that's the time na ikla-clamp na at puputulin. So, dahil doon sa yung pag-pulse na yon, this allows the baby to receive more blood from the mother after delivery. So, hindi mo ipipika. Okay? Dahil may studies daw po na ginawa that yung tinatawag natin delayed cord clamping, okay, yung hindi mo agad ikla-clamp, has decreased anemia in 1 out of every 7 term babies and 1 out of every 3 preterm babies. So may malaking tulong daw po yun. Yun daw po kasing pinipiga naman, parang mag-congest. So tinanggal na nila yung practice na yun. And last stage, dun po sa ating unang yakap, is the non-separation of the newborn from the mother. So hindi daw po natin sila dapat paghihiwalayin. So, usually is pagkalabas ni baby, ay ibinibigay na sa mag-anak, lalo na si Lola, aagawin na niya, lalo na kung unang apo. So, this is very critical, okay? So, wag daw ihihiwalay kay mommy dahil ang goal is for early breastfeeding initiation and rooming in. So, kanina sinabi natin, no, the newborn is placed on the mother's abdomen or chest and allowed to crawl up to the mother's breast para alalayan siya. Dahil during this time, the infant, meron po siyang tinatawag nating rooting reflex or the natural instinct to move the lips towards the nipple. So, yun yung wag nating tanggalin. So, ginawa yun ng Diyos na ilapit sila. Okay? So, it's an instinct. Okay? So, lalapit talaga yun sa kanyang nanay para siya ay mag-suck. So, andun yun. So, this is a very crucial moment that allows the newborn to get the colostrum or the mother's milk, okay, which contains antibodies that serves as the newborn's initial immune defense while their immune system is still immature. So, kanina, no, diretso do sa skin ni mommy dahil may natural good bacteria to help baby's immune system. Now, this time, diretso sana sa dibdib ni mommy dahil yung first milk, yung tinatawag nating colostrum, na madilaw-dilaw yan, ay meron siyang antibodies or meron siyang pananggalang. Okay, lalo na itong panahon pa ng mga COVID, ang dami ng mga sakit na naglalabasan. This will give the baby their first defense para sa sakit. Okay, so very important po itong 4 step na ito ng ating unang yakap. So, again, isa-isahin natin. Number 1 is immediate and thorough drying of the baby. Number 2 is early skin-to-skin contact between mother and their newborn. Number 3 is properly timed cord clamping and cutting. And number 4, wag daw nating ihihiwalay agad-agad si baby kay mommy. And when the 4 steps are accomplished, pag natapos, ayun na, other newborn care interventions ay pwede nang gawin. Like vitamin K injections, yung may nilalagay na antibiotic sa mata to prevent yung mga infection sa mata. The first dose of their vaccines, yung pong BCG at hepatitis B ay binibigay po yun kay baby. So yun po yun ang mga next step. Okay? Hindi siya yung priority. The first 4 steps are the priority. And after 24 hours, ginagawa na po yung newborn screening. So these are the evidence-based interventions that mother can avail pag sila daw po ay nanganak sa tinatawag nating birthing facilities assisted by healthcare professionals, be it public and private institutions. Ito po yung unang yakap or the essential intrapartum newborn care na kinonceptualize po ito ng World Health Organization para po i-implement ng bawat bansa at ini-implement na po natin dito sa tulong po ng Department of Health together with the local government unit. So how early is early? As early as delivery, the newborn is placed strategically on the mother's breast. So he will be able to feed immediately when he is hungry dahil meron nga siyang sucking cues. Speaking of breastfeeding, dahil pinopromote po ng unang yakap ang breastfeeding as well. Since the baby is placed closely to the mother's breast, he becomes familiar with his or her mom's breast as the source of food. So, hindi po binibigay ang milk formula. Ideally, there should be no pacifiers, no bottle to avoid what we call the nipple confusion. Malilito daw si baby. Because mother's breast should be the first and only source of food to ensure breastfeeding success. Ine-emphasize po ng unang yakap the need to breastfeed within the first hour of life. Unang oras pa lang, dapat agkunkunnot na siya sa mami niya, nagnunot-not na siya doon. It is during the early stage of breastfeeding when the protein and the nutrient-rich colostrum is released. Hindi po yun 1 ounce kadami. Actually, parang ilang patak lang daw po yun. Pero, this is nutrient-rich and protein-rich and antibody-rich. Kaya this gives the newborn baby protection against infection. And with unang yakap, no, we realized also that yung baby, chine-check din natin yung readiness niya to go to the breast. So, hindi fino-force si baby, no, to latch, but parang igina-guide siya gently, to the mommy's breast, giving him feeding cues, like, i-check nyo parang yung ay parang hinahanap niya. So, pag parang naghahanap na siya ng ano, this is the time that aalalayan, lalo na yung mga first-time mommy ng mga professional health workers, paano nila i-encourage na hawakan si baby, no? Turuan para mag-breastfeed. So that is why it is very important that the mother and baby should be kept together dun sa tinatawag nating skin-to-skin contact for the first full breastfed. Ang nangyayari kung minsan si mommy balot na balot, si baby balot na, hindi na, wala na yung skin-to-skin contact nila. So, mas maganda daw na silang dalawa ay skin-to-skin contact. Yan. So, yun dapat ang practice. Other maternal health issues, pag parang usually, kung bakit hindi pinapayagan, sinasabi nila, na-cesarean si mommy, may diabetes si mommy, nagda-high blood si mommy. This is not totally contraindicated daw sa unang yakap, no? Technically, unang yakap is a routine for low-risk birth. Pero sabi ng experts that babies born through high-risk pregnancy will also benefit, no? Kapag ka sila ay in-assist, lalo na kung stable naman yung vital signs ni mommy. Okay, so this should be the routine for all birth unless there are circumstances na hindi ma-implement. Like yung si baby, ay kailangan ma-intubate or si mommy ay talagang hindi rin siya stable. So, working together for unang yakap, yung breastfeeding program ng ating bansa. Bakit daw po? According to the Department of Health, 52% of babies daw na from 0 to 6 months ay nabe-breastfed pa din naman daw exclusively on the first 3 months after birth. Pero once the baby reach around 4 to 5 months after the maternity leave, bumabaksak na daw yung breastfeeding rate down to 28%, nangalahati right away, no? So, the DOH is working on improving breastfeeding rates sa ating bansa through a number of interventions, including the stronger implementation daw po ng unang yakap and breastfeeding initiative. So, sana ma-implement ito fully para po sa kapakanan ng mga baby at the same time kapakanan din ng mga mommies. Now, let's go to postpartum care o yung tinatawag nating after niyang manganak. So, background daw, no? Usually after pagkapanganak, ito daw po yung critical period, no? Most maternal and infant deaths occur in the first month after birth. Kadalasan daw po. And half of the postnatal maternal death, ibig sabihin namamatay yung mommy after manganak, happens within the first 24 hours of pagkapanganak. And 66% occur during the first week. So, very critical talaga yung postpartum care. And syempre, gusto natin na, sabi natin kanina, no, maalagaan si baby. So, ano yung mga best practices for postpartum care pagkapanganak? Dapat daw, in the first 24 hours after babies and mommy na nanganak si mommy, kailangan mabantayan silang dalawa. There should be full clinical examination 1 hour after birth, okay, both for mommy and baby. So, they should be checked at bago daw and 24 hours after manganak. Okay? Pagka-uwi, there should be another 2 more checks, usually daw after 48 hours. Kahit man lang daw po mobile, no? Cellphone, kumustahin lang si baby. Dahil just to ensure that there are no signs of infections, no uncontrolled bleeding kay mommy, and si baby they are breastfeeding well. Aside from that, all mothers and babies need at least 4 postpartum or postnatal checkups in the first 6 weeks of life. Yung pagkapanganak, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. So, yan yung mga check na yon. 1 week after, 2 weeks after, and then 6 weeks after. So, ang dami. So, imo-monitor talaga sila dahil actually, lalo na kung first time mommy, parang ang haba ng 24 hours sa kanila, nag-a-adjust. So, ano yung ginagawa ba? Bakit kailangan silang i-monitor? So, Kasama na dito yung counseling, family planning, maternal mental health assessment, nutrition and hygiene, and kung minsan dito, like dito sa ating bansa, lalo na sa mga mahihirap na lugar, mga gender-based violence. So yun yung iminomonitor sa kanila. So after birth, first 24 hours, chinecheck yung mga vaginal bleeding. Kung sila ay dinurugo ng malakas, imomonitor yung kanilang blood pressure, minomonitor yan. After 24 hours, minomonitor pa din yung mga yon, pero tinitignan na rin kung nagbe-breastfeeding ba sila ng maayos, kung masakit ang kanilang tiyan, yan yung mga binabantayan. After 1 week, tinitignan kung meron silang tinatawag na maternal blues, o tinatawag nating postpartum depression. So, yan ang chinecheck sa kanilang emotional state. Okay? So, binibigyan sila ng mga advice. Okay? Advice also on nutrition. Ano yung mga dapat nilang kainin? Ano yung mga hindi nila dapat kakainin? So, yan yung mga dapat nilang malaman. Okay? Sa kanilang hygiene. And then after that, ayan, tinuturuan na sa proper birth spacing, family planning, yung mga tinatawag natin contraceptive options. Yan na yung mga itinuturo. Okay? Kuminsan po, right after birth, no, there are some women, binibigyan pa ng proper antibiotics, lalo na kung medyo may complication ang kanilang pagkakapanganak. Okay? So, health professionals should provide an opportunity for mommies to discuss their birth experience as well. Ayun. Kung ang isang babae naman ay nakunan na wala ng anak, additional supportive care ang binibigay pa sa kanila. So as we end, okay? So motherhood is nakakapagod daw po yan. Okay? It's exhausting, sabi dito. And yet it inspires. It's also inspiring. Okay? So it's also purpose-giving. So it gives purpose for every mommy na sila ay naglabas ng isang buhay dito sa mundo. So, motherhood is a ultimate roller coaster daw of joy and sorrow, comfort and fear, love and hate. Pero sabi po sa Isaiah chapter 66 verse 13, pag ang isang ina ay medyo nagkakaroon nga ng postpartum blues o nahihirapan ka na, sipin din natin, sabi daw ni God sa atin, as a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. Yun. So, kinumpare ng ating Panginoon ang sarili niya to a mother. No? Contrary to some belief, technically there is no mother counterpart to our Father God. Pero si Isaiah, ginamit niya yung word na comfort. Actually, binigay niya itong verse na to sa bansang Israel na during that time po ay dumadanas ng matinding pagsubok dahil sila po ay natanggal sa sarili nilang bansa. So, para silang squatter sa ibang bansa. At naghahanap sila ng source of comfort and hope na sila po ba ay may pag-asa pang maging isang bayan ulit. So, ito po yung maternal promise ng ating Panginoon sa kanila na still applicable even for us. So, God is our Father, but He describes Himself in this at He can comfort us with the comfort of mother. Dahil sabi daw ni Charles Spurgeon, nothing matches the comfort of a mother. Lalo na kung your mother, if you're blessed with a mother who is nurturing, remember that God uses the maternal symbol to represent His own ability to comfort His children. The Father still comforts better than the best earthly mother. He loves better than any maternal figure on the planet because He always wanted us. Because He created us. Siyang dumalang sa atin. Sabi sa Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, kilala na daw niya tayo. No? Before I created you in the womb of your mommy, I knew you. Alam niya tayo personally, DNA per DNA. So, every good thing, including the patience and endurance to persevere in our faith through the trials of parenthood, comes from Him. So, Through it all, you are nurtured by our ultimate comforter because mothers are also God's daughters. So, being God's daughters, etong Safe Motherhood Week, we should be reminded not only for our families to look after the babies, but also to look after the health of the mommy. So that's it po for today para sa ating programa Usapang Pangkalusugan. Nawa sa sandaling panahon po ay binibigay po tayong linaw at mahalagang impormasyon tungkol po sa ating paksa sa araw ito. Aking dalangin ay tayo po ay laging malusog sa ating katawan at kaisipan. Abangan niyo po muli ako sa susunod na Sabado para po sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan dito lamang po sa 1143 DCMR, a proud member of KBP. Ating tandaan ang ating kalusugan ay kayamanang di mapapantay.